West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Monday night live call-in show. I'm one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. And yeah, this is the live call-in. It's every Monday. By now, if you're a listener, long-time listener, recent listener, follower, supporter, whatever of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, you know by now how the Monday night call-in show works. I put the link in the chat. You call in, and you, the viewers, the listeners, etc., you decide what the talking points are. Last week Monday, granted I was ill last week Monday, and I said, you know what, this is going to be 45 minutes. It's going to be quick, straight to the point. And guess what? I liked it. I liked the quicker version of the show where people only had about 3 minutes to make their point and we just moved on. So we're going to try and run that back again. I want this to be done within an hour. So what's new? What have we got to talk about today? West Indies beat Sri Lanka yesterday. West Indies women play against England in a must-win. Essentially, it's a knockout match. Winner goes home, loser goes home in the T20 World Cup. West Indies women against England. That's tomorrow. West Indies' second game against Sri Lanka is tomorrow. Two things have happened with regards to the academy. So the latest cohort for the West Indies Academy, both the boys and the girls team, have been announced. And further to that, today it's been announced that not only has the academy cohort been announced for the boys, but they will be based full-time in Antigua for the next year. So they've all, finally, my prayers have been answered. They've all been removed from whatever territory they're from. Obviously, some will be based in the Leeward Islands, but they will for the next year be fully based in Antigua for their education, both cricket education and off-the-field education, all based at CCG, which I think is the best thing that could happen. CCG has the best facilities in the region. It's probably the most competent run cricketing entity in the region. It's obviously the home of Cricket West Indies as well. So I would love to know. I haven't asked Miles. I haven't sent a message to Miles Bascombe yet to dig deep into it. But I know that Miles knows. Miles will know, and Kishore will know that here on CCP, myself and Santoki have been banging on about doing that for ages. West Indies cricket has been on the decline for going on at least 25 years, if not more. Let's say 30 years. And the one consistent in that is that most of the territories, if not all of them, haven't got a clue about what to do in order to arrest the decline. So in that sense, it makes sense that you move the youngsters that you have identified as talented and have the potential to move West Indies cricket forward in the future. You move them away from their territories. Like getting a player to succeed in our territorial system, to me, it's by luck, not design. Jimmy Adams gave us that stat way back when, and it's always bears repeating that when you look at Test cricket and you talk about the last player to average 40 that came from each of the particular territories, the most recent was Chris Gell, Jamaica. He debuted in 1999. And Ramnaresh Sarwan from Guyana, who debuted in 2000. No territory has produced a test batter to average over 40 since then. No one has debuted from any of the territories that has the ability to average over 40 in test cricket. So I say that to say that the territories don't know what they're doing. Their system is failing and they don't know how to arrest that. They don't know how to do a 180 on it. So it makes sense that you'd move the academy kids or academy talent away from the territories. Let me get the link. Get the link put in the chat. Yeah, so Let's see who is. I'm tired already. You know, we're only 5 minutes in, and my mind is already tired. Right, let's see. let's see. Let's see who's in the chat today. Raku says Evan Lewis house done built. Yeah, I'd love to know where Evan Lewis. Though I'd love to know one day, get the real story about Evan Lewis. I don't think we'll ever get the real story, but he's back now, and that's the main thing. Yeah, big up to Rods who says hi. Rod says that's a good move. I'm presuming that's related to moving the academy team or the academy squad to Antigua. OTC says, why wasn't Kevin Wickham or Jordan Johnson a part of that 15? Are you talking about the academy 15? Actually, let me get the squad up. Actually, it's a good point. Let me just get the academy squad up, because not everybody in the who is watching today or watches on the repeat will even know what the academy squad is. Here we go. So I'm going to do a video on it, by the way. Later this week, I'm going to do a video on the selected players, so look out for that. But the academy squad is as follows. Akeem Orgeese, Jediah Blades, Joshua Bishop, Teddy Bishop, McKenny Clark, Rivaldo Clark, Mavindra Dinyal, Nathan Edward, Justin Jagasar, Johan Lane, Zishan Matara, Michael Palmer, Kelvin Pittman, Renico Smith, and Carlin Tuckett. Oh, so those are the 15. Now, what's quite interesting, I'll move this mic, it's getting my way. What's quite interesting about that 15, and going back to OTC's point, there is no Jordan Johnson, there is no Kevin Wickham. Now, I've been told, and I think I tweeted about it the other day. In case people didn't know, I'll just quickly read this to you. So we have good reason to believe that Kevin Wickham is part of the Barbados Pride Super 50 squad. So it is just worth reminding people that if your franchise picks you up, your national franchise or any franchise picks you up first, then you're not going to be in the academy. The whole point of the academy is you're supposed to graduate. You're not just supposed to be in it forevermore. Remember, it's generally speaking, it's for 24-year-olds and under, or 23-year-olds and under. So Kevin Wickham is in the Barbados Pride Super 50 squad. He has graduated out of the academy. Jordan Johnson currently is listed as a reserve. The squad has been leaked to me. I won't tell you who leaked it to me, but the Jamaica squad has been leaked to me, and I've been told that Jordan Johnson is a reserve. Now, what that might mean is that if Jamaica end up not picking Jordan Johnson, then I would fully expect CCC to pick up Jordan Johnson. So CCC, what they tend to do is they wait to see who of the talented youngsters have been picked up by their kind of main franchise team. And if they're not picked up, CCC will tend to go for them. So, for example, I've been told that Mansing has been picked up by CCC. So, although he's not in the Jamaica squad as far as I know, but I've been led to believe that he'll be playing for CCC this season. So we kind of have to wait to see what the CCC squad will be, because you would assume it will resemble something of the best of the rest going into Super 50. So that answers the question about Wickham and Johnson. Where are we? Sorry, I know there's people wanting to come on. I'm just going to get through some of these comments first before I get there. Sean says, do you think West Indies can put up 500 when they tour Pakistan? Good question. That Pakistan West Indies test series is threatening to be one of the worst test series of all time. All time. That's going to be the most down bad test series of that's probably one of the the cricket might be so bad, you know. But that might be a chance. I think Santoki was saying to me the other day that might be a chance for us to see a triple century from West Indian. The last person to it must have been Gell. I'd just settle for a century. I'd just settle for one West Indian hitting a century. Just one. Not even a double, just a one century. And we can do open top bus parade in whichever island that cricketer comes from. But we shall see. Let's see if we can get past Bangladesh first. Matthew Nandu, I suspect, will be in the Harper Eagle squad. I mean, they see him as a red ball player anyways. I'd be shocked if Nandu's not in the Harpy Eagles squad. In Guyana, they're playing the inter-county 50 over tournament at the moment. Tage just hit a century in that, actually. I think Tage hit 102 or something like that. So maybe he's coming back from his down bad period. Roblox says West Indies should play the same 11 in the second T20 versus Sri Lanka. Yeah, I've got nothing against that. Who missed out from the first one? Hayden Walsh, Fabian Allen, Athanase? There must have been one more player. Walsh, Allen, Athanase, someone else. Who's the last player who didn't play in that T20 game? And if someone put in the comments and I'll get to it. Anthony says, blessing CCP, I watched the World Cup cricket match Women's Day and saw 8 catches put down by Pakistan. Is that a record? I'm sure West Indies have done that somewhere before. I'm sure we managed to do that. Stephen Roach says, are there any young Jamaican players in the academy? I find it crazy that the largest West Indian island doesn't have one youth man that could go to the academy. Let me look at the squad again. Is there a Jamaican in there? Where's Michael Palmer from? Where's Michael Palmer from? I've heard that name, but why am I thinking? I'm just assuming he's Jamaican because where else would Michael Palmer be from if not from Jamaica? Let me see. Michael Palmer. Let me see if I can find his island. Michael Palmer. Boy, Michael Palmer is he's from one of the Leeward Islands. So there is no Jamaican in there then. Nope, no Jamaican. We're down bad. We're down rotten. Okay, let's quickly I'm going to bring Fireball, you're on first. So just to tell people who are in the background, Fireball, CPL, Simp, Jamandi, and then Josh. That's the order I've got so far. Just seeing, is there any more comments? Luke Bradley. So Christian Thurton is literally the best on-cap batter in Trinidad. Nobody's put up better numbers. Yeah, so Santoki told me today that he's actually training with CCC at the moment. So Thurton looks like he's going to get a CCC pick, assuming that they'll look at the numbers that he put up in club cricket in Trinidad and say, yeah, this guy deserves a chance. So look out for him to possibly be part of the CCC squad, but more fool on Trinidad and Tobago to not even give him a trial game. He didn't even get in a trial squad for the 50 over trials in Trinidad, which says more about the Trinidad system. Alexander Merry, Shamar Joseph was very impressive yesterday. Yep, I agree. Lots of people said, Brandon King, he was man of the match. I thought a lot of people slept on Shamar. I thought Shamar bowled really well yesterday. I was really impressed with him. Peter Demroy says if 4 batters get quarter centuries versus Pakistan, he's on the roof celebrating. Now, we can at least get 2 50s against Pakistan, at least 2 in an innings. Pittman is Jamaican. No, isn't Pittman Antiguan? Wait, what? Nah, Kelvin Pittman, he's not Jamaican. I swear Pittman... One second, let me just check that. Kelvin Pittman, he's not Jamaican. Kelvin's from Antigua, man. Yeah, I thought so. Anyways, loads of comments, you know. Right, let's get somebody on the show. I think that's enough comments for now. I think last comment. Stephen Roach, West Indies should drop Rothman Powell for the next T20. What do you think? No. I know his form's terrible. Like, I get it. A lot of people, I'm starting to see loads of comments about speaking on Rothman Powell's form, saying, he's not bringing anything to the team, but he's a good captain. Now, obviously, some of you will say there's no spot for a specialist captain, but I think Powell leads the team well. And I mean, he's never been Powell. Let's be honest. Rothman has always been. He'll go. He's a patches player. He'll go for a good patch, then he'll go for a down horrendous patch. Then he'll come back up and go for a good patch. I think you just have to let this bad patch go and just accept that he's captain and we can afford to carry him right now with the bat and just be glad that he's a good captain. He effectively is Sammy on the field, is he not? Sammy trusts him implicitly. Powell is part of he's a key cog in what has made this West Indies T20 team, I wouldn't say unbeatable, but certainly believe that they can beat anyone. So he can't go nowhere, not for now, anyways. So yeah. Lastly, before I go to Fireball, who's going to be the first person on, in case anybody doesn't know, so this morning or this afternoon, I decided to, on a whim, book the tickets to Antigua. So I will be in Antigua for the ODIs against England. I don't really know why I did it, I just thought, why not? Obviously, Trinidad was fun for the test match against South Africa. And I just got paid. Do you know why I did it? I just got paid for the work that I did for BBC for the county championship stuff. And I thought, nah, you know what? Let me just use that money and just go to Antigua for the ODIs. So now what I need to try and do, now I'm going to be in Antigua. First and foremost, any CCP Antiguans, hit me up, because all I've done is book flights. I don't even know where I'm staying. I ain't booked no hotel. I ain't got no room to stay. I don't know what the next part of the plan is. I just booked some flights and that's it. But so any Antiguans who follow CCP, hit me up. Give me some tips and hints and stuff as to what to do. And then the hope is I'm actually gonna try. Let me see if I can try do a little piece of work when I'm out there. I might actually have to pitch to people and say, hold on, I'm gonna be out there. Let me do some work here and there. But we shall see. Either way, I'm gonna be there. So Antiguans, anyone who's a CCP fan who lives in Antigua, hit me up and tell me where I can rest my head, because I don't know the next part of the plan. Anyways, let's bring on Fireball. Fireball, first caller today. Let's move.
Greetings, Mash. Greetings, CCP family.
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm gonna big up Kishore Shallow, because it's been surprising that this guy's only been here for like a year and a half. He's been doing a lot, and slowly but surely he's been reversing the terrible systemic issues of West Indies cricket. It's not going to be gone. Not going to be gone for a while. Probably not going to be gone after his presidency, but he's working on it. Imagine Kishore Shallow when we were good, at least in T20 cricket. Imagine that imagine a proper cricket West Indies that could have negotiated with Pollard, Narayan, Russell, Gale, Sammy, the whole lot.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say three things off the back of that. The first thing is, Kishore doesn't only deserve credit for trying to bring West Indies cricket kicking and screaming into the 21st century and trying to modernize the way we do things. So he deserves credit for that. But on top of that, I don't know if people remember when Sammy was first appointed head coach. Do people remember that they were getting cussed out for putting Sammy in as head coach? I haven't forgotten, There was loads of cussing saying why Sammy got the job. Lots of people wanted Chanderpaul to get the job instead because Talawaz had just won CPL or whatever it was. And Shallow kind of, he essentially put his reputation on the line by saying, it should be Sammy that gets this job, and trusting that Sammy would be able to turn around our fortunes. Now, I'm not trying to say that it's not like we won the home World Cup, but Sammy has to be given his flowers. And over the last 6-7 T20 series, we look damn near unbeatable. So that again is another thing that you can say that Kishore is to be given credit for. But there's something that I need answered, Fireball, because I don't know how many West Indies cricket fans know this. The Vincy fans will know, or people from Vincy will know, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but I don't know how many people do know. Kishore is currently running for Parliament in St. Vincent. And Ralph Gonzalez. Yeah, he
Gonzalez.
was. Yeah. However you say his surname, the Prime Minister he was cussing Kishore out the other day. I don't know if anyone's seen the article. Ralph was giving Kishore an almighty cuss out, saying I should never have backed this man to be Cricket West Indies president. He's dragged West Indies cricket back 30 years. If you lot vote for him, he's going to drag St. Vincent back 30 years. Oh, it was an almighty cuss out, you know. I need to share that article to people. So I don't know how many people watching this or who are West Indies cricket aficionados actually know that right now Kishore is embroiled in a run for parliament in Vincy, and he's got Ralph cussing him out all along the way as well. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Ralph cussing people out, but Ralph get pelted with big stone already, you know. Ralph got pelted with big stone already. He cussing people out.
So what would you do though? Say Kishore wins the election, and I need to, if there's any Vincy people in this chat, please give me an update in the chat, because I'm trying to follow it, but I don't actually know what position Kishore is running for. I don't know if he's like leader of the opposition or if he's just running for a seat in Vincy. I don't really get it. But how would he manage both jobs, Fireball? Say he wins in whatever he's actually running for. How do you run Cricket West Indies and be in Parliament in Vincy at the same time?
Well, I'll give the example in Trinidad. Many MPs in Trinidad has other ventures. So I assume that he'll just have the MP as on the side, and he'll also be working with Cricket West Indies more on a full-time basis, which could be a criticism in his constituency, but that's for Vincy's people to decide, not me.
Luckily, one of the guests coming on next or coming on soon is Jamandi, who's just messaged me privately and said he's from Vincy. So when Jamandi comes on, he can give me the full lowdown, because I would say, I'm not saying there's a conflict of interest, but I just want to know. But then again, Caribbean is the Caribbean. No rules in the Caribbean. Anything goes. Of course, you can be in Parliament and run Cricket West Indies at the same time. Why would I say that don't make sense? Of course, you can do that. Let me ask you something, Fireball, before you go. If Bassarat ran for a political position in Trinidad, because I saw you discussing this in the Discord earlier, do you think people would accept him being vice president of Cricket West Indies and also holding a political position in Trinidad at the same time?
I'll say this, and I'll say this carefully. People South and Central Trinidad will cuss him. Because right now, people in South and Central Trinidad, which I would bet my money that Thurston is from, get neglected by TTCB when it comes to terms of selection. And I think Bassarat, even though he is Indo-Trinidadian, he would represent the PNM, because I think he kind of play around with Rowley and those people's circles. That's me assuming things. I could be wrong. It depends on the constituency. You have to run to a PNM safe constituency to win, because I don't think any marginal seat will win. I think UNC would destroy him due to his conflict of interest.
Okay,
that's he runs to the PNM.
Let me just put this up. Somehow we've ended up talking about politics on a cricket show, but there's no cricket without politics. So Machel, sorry if I've said the name wrong, says Dr. Kishore Shallow has been selected as a candidate for the main opposition, the NDP in Vincy, to contest the next general election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's part one. But is he saying that Shallow is a candidate to be the leader or a candidate to just run it in a seat? This is the part I'm not understanding. But anyways, Jamandi's going to come on and tell us all. Listen, Fireball, thank you as ever for coming on. I'm going to move on because looks like there's enough people who want to come on today.
No problem, man.
All right, then. Cool. Yeah, in a bit. Yes, people. So we're talking politics today, it seems. I know Kishore's going to watch this as well. I'd say, let me check my phone, because Kishore might have sent me a message already saying, don't talk about my politics on this show. So, but yeah, let's move on to CPL Simp. Is this Errol? I think it might be Errol, you know. Right, let me bring CPL Simp on. Yes. Hold on, talk again. You that sounded like you're an alien just there.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. All right, no worries. I was just going to say, are you allowed in Antigua?
I don't know, you know. I don't know. I really don't know. Then listen, it's by the end of what day is it? 2024. By 2026, but the aim is to try and watch West Indies all across the Caribbean without somebody knocking my head off with a cricket bat. So let's see if I can get through Antigua.
Yeah, it'd be good. Well, I don't think you've cussed too many Antiguan players.
No, I don't. I haven't. You know, I haven't. I should be fine.
That's good. Yeah. So today I wanted to talk about the CPL youth policy, quote unquote, a little bit more because I was thinking about it over the weekend, and I was like, do you know what? This is a load of rubbish.
Okay, go on. Land.
Really,
I'm going to let you land.
With the so if you've got two players, but only they have to play 5 games between them. That sort of thing. Yeah, so like, who is it? Like Matthew Nando didn't play any games. I've forgotten who else, but yeah, and like most of them didn't really do anything, play any time, or they didn't bowl, or they barely got to bat. And I'm like, well, we're struggling talent-wise throughout the region, and yet we're not playing our young players. So what do we expect to happen?
Now, somebody messaged me the other day and made the correct point that CPL is a private entity, and the franchises are owned by private individuals, and those individuals and CPL as an entity doesn't owe West Indies cricket anything. And I hear that. I do hear that in the cold-hearted light of day, in terms of business and how it runs. I get that. But then my argument is, if we're going to use that argument, CPL shouldn't then be putting out any press releases saying, and look at the benefit we've had to West Indies cricket or the benefit we've had to the Caribbean. It's either you are helping the cricket or you're not helping the cricket. And if your intention is to say you're helping the cricket, then the rules have to change. Yeah. Because we're not seeing anything new. It's Johnson Charles was basically just top run scorer again. Johnson Charles was top run scorer about 8 years ago, and he's still top run scorer now. So what's actually changing in CPL?
Yeah, Johnson Charles is my age. He's 36. So but we're nearly uncles out here, man. So like, yeah. So I was trying to think, who is the last player that we can say has like come through CPL and starred for a few years and then got into West Indies? Because I'm struggling. I can't really think of anyone.
As in a player where you'd say that if it wasn't for CPL, they wouldn't be who they are.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was about to say, and Ingenious has said it, I was about to say Brandon King.
I was thinking that as well, yeah.
I was about, because that
he's
season,
the only one.
The season Brandon King had for Guyana put him in the limelight, and that kind of catapulted him into the West Indies white ball teams. But even then, you could argue, before CPL, King was on a trajectory to play for the West Indies Test side. CPL then moved him out of red ball cricket into white ball cricket. So you could even argue, well, does King really count per se? But now King is seen around the world as a white ball player.
Yeah. And he's finally come back into red ball, isn't he? But that's taken how long? That's
Other than that, maybe like someone like Obed McCoy, maybe Matthew Ford. But if we're talking like West Indies world beaters or West Indies goats, then the answer's no one.
No one, yeah.
There's no like franchise superstar or GOAT that you could say, yeah, this has been because of CPL. I think that's fair enough to say.
I think so, yeah. And I was thinking that's not the case anywhere else in the world. All their good players have had some sort of come up in their domestic T20.
Interesting. You know what? Those people who are listening to this who are proper T20 heads, that's a really good point you've just raised there,
We're the only ones that I think, anyway. To be honest, because like Nicholas Piran, he's an IPL man, isn't he now, and has been for ages.
I guess the only thing I'm trying to work out is, does it count if we were rating a player before they started? It's like Puran, for example. I think a lot of people knew about Puran before CPL. So I don't know if you can strictly say CPL brought Puran to the fore. I mean, I'll give CPL 50% of Puran, but I kind of feel like we knew about Puran anyway, because West Indies I swear West Indies had already banned Puran before Puran had even played CPL. So Puran was kind of known about. He was kind of known about as a talent already. Hetmeyer was already in the West Indies team before we really start talking about CPL and all of that. So, and then you look at somewhere like Australia, Fraser McGurk, who everyone's talking about as the next big thing, he's come specifically through their T20 system and domestic system, and everyone knows that he's been born and bred through that. So I do see your point, but listen, I'm sure people are going to cuss over this point and say, "Nah, you're not giving CPL enough credit."
That's fine. And my only other thing was, Evan Lewis coming back. I'm sure a few people want to talk about that, but it's a bit of a, hitting us 50 straight away and showing us what we've been missing. Because when I was watching, I was like, we so used this in the World Cup. Somebody who's gonna go from ball one, run singles, run twos, and rotate the strike, and not just stand there like Johnson Charles and waft the bat. I was like, it was good to watch, but I was really frustrated. I was like, we could have used this in the summer. We really could have. We might have got to the semi-finals. That's what I was thinking. So we might have got there.
I just want, we'll never, like I say, I think I said at the top of the show, we'll never find out the real story. But I do just want to know. I watched one of our episodes back earlier today, an episode that Santoki and I did about Evan Lewis. And Santoki made a point in that episode where he was like, we went for a period where we saw Evan Lewis at the 2021 World Cup, didn't then see him again. Then we saw him at the 2022 World Cup. Then we didn't see him again until now. Like, what kind of career is that? Where has he been? Where has he been for 3 years? And I know, obviously, we've seen like the Instagram cuss outs, the Facebook cuss outs, but what prompted the cuss outs? That's what I want to know.
Exactly. He's been doing a, bricklaying apprenticeship for all we know, isn't
it? I will never ever forget that press conference when Desmond Haynes said, I've been told he's building a house, and legitimately gave that as, oh, that's why I haven't picked him. He's building a house. I was like, what?
Busy. He's got good priorities.
So one day it will all come out, but it's another thing that we have to give Sammy credit for, because ultimately Sammy got him back into the fold, and that much is clear. That if it wasn't for Sammy, I don't think we'd have Evan back in the fold again. Yeah,
agreed. It's no coincidence, is it? Same with Dre. Same with Dre as well.
Exactly.
He was out the picture.
Exactly.
Completely.
100%.
100%. Get Sammy credit for that.
Yeah. Listen, Errol, I'm gonna move on because I didn't realize there's gonna be so many people ringing in today, so I'm gonna move on to the next caller.
Cool. Take it easy, man.
All right. Yeah. Take care. Thank you. Yes. That was Errol, people. I think it was Errol's first time on the show, Didn't even big up the first time. Who's next? Jamandi. Jamandi is next. Just for those who are in the background wondering who is. So we've got Jamandi, then Josh, then... I don't know who this is. It just says, welcome to Para. That's all it says. Welcome to Para. Maybe he's... Whoever welcome to Para is... It then says ... So I don't know what like Shakespeare sonnet you've written as your name, but all I can see is welcome to Para. But you're third, and then Ulster Uncle is fourth. Right, let me bring Jamandi on anyways. Yes, Jamandi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, man, Mash. This is my
A
first time
pleasure.
on the show.
Yes,
My
yes,
first
welcome.
time on the show. I know a little bit nervous. Feel like I'm talking to like celebrity right now.
Listen, love the fact that the first time caller. Big up anyone who's a first time caller. You're
Yeah,
ringing from where? Vincy.
this is exactly yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Actually, one
where you gonna start? You gonna tell me about Kishore first, or you gonna start somewhere else?
Kishore, Kishore. I mean, I am a huge admirer of Kishore. I mean, when he first became president of West Indies, like the whole of Vincy was proud to have a Vince session at the helm of West Indies cricket, right? But well, not but I'm a little concerned now that that he had no decide to run for politics. Because politics in our country is very messy. Actually, messy all over, but especially in BC is terrible, right? So I was like wondering how he could balance a politician and a head of a West Cricket Board. But for me, West Cricket Board need someone who's going to be like that. That's going to be the main focus. Someone who's solely focused on West Cricket and have their time divided between politics and West Cricket Board. So for me, he should decide. I'm not sure. I don't know his finances. I don't know his pocket. But for me, I think he should decide between either West Cricket or Vincy because I don't see how you could do both.
Why do you think he's running for why do you think he's decided to put his name in the hat politics wise?
Personally, without knowing him, I think because he want to like give back to the country directly.
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason why. Hearing him speak and so forth, I think that's the main reason why he want to give back to the country. He's actually running for a seat, not to be leader. That's a seat in the because we have 15 seats to say, so you have to one particular seat.
So why then, if that's the case, if he's only running for a seat, why is Ralph focusing on Kishore, and why is he not focusing on the leader of the opposition? What's Ralph's issue with Kishore?
because I think Kishore is a very smart and intelligent guy, so maybe he feels threatened by that, right? Again, this is me looking from outside and hear Kishore speak, and Kishore bring a new level of energy, youth to the party, because the current opposition is made up of elderly or old people or whatever in party. So Kishore youth and not just youth using about him. I think the Ralph feel that they're threatened by that. I think that's why he really pushing, because Ralph like Kishore, like rumors had it, Ralph tried to recruit Kishore for his party.
Right.
Years ago.
Okay.
Exactly. So Ralph actually like Kishore, but I think there's still feeling is threatened by him now. And he now in the opposition.
Right. Okay. I understand.
But my concern is how is he going to split his time between West Indies and Vincy politics? That's my concern. Because I possibly think he should choose one.
Listen, I fully expect, like I say, when today's call-in show ends, I fully expect Kishore to message me and say, I want to come on your show and talk about what I'm actually doing, because only Kishore can explain it to us. But it's interesting all the same. Listen, did you want to talk about a cricket point as well?
Just one point, and it's about Azari. I think he should retire from 2020 cricket. To be honest,
okay.
I think he
from
should retire
from 2020.
Yes, and focus on ODI and Test cricket.
Okay.
Because I think he's our premier fast bowler. Like for me, he's the number one fast bowler. Kira Roach, he got to retire next year or end of year. So it's now up to Azari to lead this next generation of fast bowlers. So, but for him to do that, I think he need adequate rest in between series, right? I don't want him to become like Rabada, because if you notice Rabada came out like a house of fire. But over the years, Rabada has slowly started losing pace. I mean, he's still effective, but his pace, he's losing pace. He's not as fast as he was, in my opinion. Kiss Rabada, and he's not as effective as he was like when he knocked on the scene. So I don't want that to happen to Azari. So I prefer Azari retire from 2020 and focus on one day and test. You understand me? And just help what she's create go forward because I love what she create. I've been following what she create since I was 4 years old, 5 years old. You know? I've never seen us being successful besides little 2020 here and there. But I love to see what she create come back. Because my father telling me stories of how Wesley Creek was once the juggernaut in World Crate. So I wanted to just get back there. You understand me? So that's my final point. I just hope Azari will hear me out. I retire. I focus on one day and test.
Wherever Alzari is right now, if he's listening to this in Sri Lanka, this is what he just did when he heard what you said. One big stoops is what he just. Listen. Alzari. Do you know what though? I know why you're saying what you're saying. The reality is, anybody who's got the ability to play T20 cricket won't retire from T20 cricket.
Yes, that's true.
But what we can do, and we started to, I hope that what we did after England, where we rested Alzari from the South Africa series, I'm hoping that that's what we're going to be doing with Alzari a bit more. Not necessarily resting him from tests, but just managing his workload better so that when he does play, because I do think your point is valid. Alzari's played international cricket now for like 8 years. Yeah. When Kimar does finally step aside next year, you're right. Based on experience, Alzari is supposed to be the leader, right? Yeah. But for Alzari to be effective in that role, we have to not just run him into the ground. So provided we just manage his workload better, and that might mean sometimes he misses T20 series. And that's where I think you're correct. He doesn't have to play every T20 series. For West Indies. I think he can miss some here and there because we have an ODI World Cup coming up in 2027 and probably qualifiers. That's important. Test cricket is the best format of the game, so that will always be important. So he doesn't have to play every bilateral T20 series. So your point does have some validity there.
Yeah, okay. Well,
but
that's it from me. That's it from me tonight. But it was fun.
Thank you so much, though, for coming on, Jamandi. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right, then. Take care. Yes. Big up, Jamandi. First-time caller from Vincy. We get callers from everywhere on this show, you know, people. I think every single island and nation has nearly been represented on these call-in shows. Has there been any Antiguans in the chat yet? I beg someone get in touch with me and tell me where I'm supposed to stay in Antigua, please, because I ain't got nowhere to stay. I'll have to try friend up some England fans or something. You don't know already though that when I go to those ODIs, it's just going to be me waving one West Indies flag and the England fans there just swinging Sweet Caroline. So I wonder. Boy. Anyways, plenty of time to talk about that later. Who's on next? Welcome to Is it Welcome to Paradise? Who is this? Is this a new caller? Is this a new caller? Welcome. Let's see who this is. Hello, welcome to Paradise. Who is this?
Give me 1 minute, Mas. 1 minute.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, can you put me down in the...
What?
Put me down and bring back up.
All right. Oh boy, right. Right, let me bring on Ulster Uncle instead. Right, Bigfoot, I'm assuming that was you. When you're ready, just send me a private message to say that you're ready. I'm gonna go to Ulster Uncle in the meantime.
Bro, I want to see what's going on in that household. Someone he is gonna be fighting for his life for the
Oh boy, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Machel. Myself.
I'm very, very good. I'm good.
Yeah. Just the one thing I wanted to talk about tonight mainly. About the academy. Oh, the one other thing I'm gonna moan about one thing just in general. There's not really much talking I feel about it, and then there's one actual thing to talk about. I felt really burnt out recently, just with all the cricket that's been happening.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like I followed cricket whenever I was young, all up to the age of about 20ish. And I remember even then, so that's like 10 years ago. Even then, like whenever there even wasn't so much T20, there like T20 leagues were there. But even then, I was like, I kind of feel like I've sort of like nothing feels like it has meaning back then. And I actually took a big break. I took like a 5-6 year break of not watching cricket really, and then started watching it like 3 or 4 years ago again. And I think I'm getting, and like it almost feels like I'm getting back to it, but it's just such a weird sport where other sports like the football season lasts for 10 months and like 9.5 months, but it has that clear break in it where you can like reset. You don't have to think about football, and then you sort of can get back into it. Whereas cricket just doesn't have that, and it just feels like you almost have to make it yourself. You have to pick and choose when you care, which is just a weird thing. So that's just a moan. I don't know what you want to say about that there, but that's just a real moan I have about it.
No, I and do you know what? I'll just quickly talk on that. I think that's valid because after the World Cup, so after the World Cup, because a lot of those games in the World Cup were 1 o'clock UK time or midnight, whatever it was, I was completely burnt out after the World Cup. But then obviously I flew to Trinidad to watch the Test match against South Africa, and then after that, if I'm honest with you, I didn't want to watch any more cricket. And that's why a lot of people thought I was just talking bad about CPL for the fun of it. I was just actually fatigued. Like I didn't have any inclination to want to watch CPL because after a while you just need a natural break. And in the past, the natural break when it was international cricket without all these down bad T20 leagues, you kind of knew that, okay, West Indies aren't playing now for 2 months or whatever, and you could at least find some kind of break period. But cricket literally is on all the time. There's a league,
and it makes it worse for being on all the time. Like there's no sport that does that actually. Like I can't think of maybe there is some successful sport that does it, but like every big sport that I can think of has like a big break. Like they have the big league has a big break, you know, where like people where you can like look forward to it again as well. Because like if it's just always going, you can't have that period of like I'm now looking forward to something. So I don't know. Anyway.
But this is why, sorry, I know you got that other point. This is why I believe that international cricket is going to have a renaissance. Because I don't know him, and specifically, I think I mean Test cricket. And it's not my strongest argument of all time, but I believe it will have a renaissance because at least it's something different from the monotony of wham, bam, thank you, man. Here's another league. And now here's another league. And here's some more T20. So actually, we're kind of going full circle to a point where just watching a test match where you can kind of dip in and out of it, have it on in the background without every single ball being a six, is almost far more preferable now to what we've been, to the diet we've had forced down our throat.
The test matches feel like a heavyweight boxing, like a world heavyweight boxing match, if you know what I mean. Where like, you know, in like boxing or in like other martial arts sports, you'll have like these long build-ups to the big fight sort of thing. That's kind of what, because like I'm also like an uncle. I mean, it's in my name. I'm an uncle now as well, where I just mainly care about test cricket. But like I always look forward to a test series. And it doesn't even and actually it doesn't matter with who. And part of that's also because it's West Indies, and you know, kind of no matter who we're facing, it's going to be a challenge in some manner. But like I'll always look forward to that. There, you kind of like I enjoy watching West. I'm a West Indies fan, so I will watch West Indies. So I'll watch the Sri Lanka, and it's on at a good time, I suppose, as well. So I watch it because of that there. But like, I wasn't really looking forward to it. Like, it's just there. Whereas, like, I'm looking forward to the Bangladesh, and most of my thing, whenever I think about like West Indies cricket, be like, oh, who's going to be playing in that Bangladesh series? Who's going to get a chance then in that Pakistan series? Stuff like that there. But yeah, that was my moan topic, and then just the one thing, the academy. I just saw that they have released the new players. I'm not sure if that actually had happened before. I think it did. The players were announced earlier. But how do we look at the names that weren't there? So these are people that were there last year, that are no longer here, or at least this would be the Super 50 squad at least. So, and I know some of these players in this new team mightn't be a Super 50 player, whatever. But it was just an interesting thing. Now, it's in its third year now. So we're now entering a stage now where a lot of the players that were there at the start are either too old, or there's now actual graduation sort of happening, I guess. Or maybe just getting chucked out, which would be another thing. So anyway, I took out the 7 names here.
Yes.
And I'm curious to see your thoughts on 2 things about these 7 names.
Go for
if
it.
you were in charge of the academy, so you're Simasinger now, would you still want them in the academy? And then, do you think that they have actually graduated, or is this the academy being done with them type thing? So,
hit me with the names.
Kamani Melius, not there for this year, from last year.
So for each name, I'm going to tell you, by the way, what my synopsis is. So Melius should be now. He should be a lock. Yeah. How? You give me the ages as well.
Yes, 23 years old.
So Melius should be in the Windward Islands team for Super 50, or at least in the squad. But we shall see.
So we have Melius, Matthew Nandu, 21.
Yep, he'll be with Harpy Eagles. I would be shocked but I think he should have been kept with the academy because he's only 21. But like I say, if the franchise take him, then he's not supposed to be with the academy. Well, no, sorry, that's a lie. Because I was told last year that you can be part of the academy, but if your franchise always has first dibs on you. So you can be in the academy, but your franchise calls you, so therefore you have to play for the franchise, but you come back to the academy afterwards. But I presume Nandu now has a Guyana franchise contract.
Next one, Kevin Wickham, 21.
Yeah, Barbados have definitely taken him.
Yep. Next one, Naeem Young, 24.
I've been told that in the unofficial Barbados Super 50 squad that I've been given, Naeem Young is in it this year, so he's with Barbados.
Now, to be fair, I'm not sure if he was part of the academy full squad, but he was there for Super 50 last year. Matthew Ford, 22.
I mean, he's a West Indies international now,
yeah,
so yeah,
so that's fine.
Yeah, so yeah.
Ashmead Ned, 23.
So he's one where I think he's graduated,
Yes.
but I don't know who he's graduated to. So don't be surprised if Ned. I mean, maybe he'll get. The thing is, Guyana have so many spinners.
I could easily see like it would feel like something like the Leeward Islands or the Windward Islands would do. Like, who are the Windward Islands spinners, to be fair?
They've got Cyrus, Daryl Cyrus. Katoy seems to spin nowadays. There's a next person, Daniel. No, Durham is Leeward Islands. I need to look at the list to remind myself.
Maybe I'm forgetting someone, but yeah, that would be in my mind at least. Like I couldn't imagine the Windwards having a better left arm spinner than him. And then final one anyway, Leonardo Julian, 23.
CCC? I don't even know if you'll get in there. Do you know? I forgot. So maybe Ned will be in CCC, to be fair. But Leonardo Julian. Last I heard, he was playing in Zimbabwe in a down bad T10 tournament.
That's right, he was in that.
So he's not in the T. Won't be in a TT. He won't be in the Trinidad squad. So this, but ultimately, as much as I said to you, like the first 5, oh, they're with that team, they're with that team. The last few names, this is the problem. Like if you leave the academy and you aren't directly going into a franchise setup, does that mean the academy has failed you, or does that mean the franchise system is failing you? Which way round do you think it is?
To be honest with you, well, the fact that there is an academy system in the first place, and an academy system, not that there's an academy system, because every nation should have an academy system, but the fact that the academy team has been put in to our 50 over and our 5-day team kind of suggests that already the regional thing had failed them before anything had started up. Because I can't think of like another test playing nation that does that. Like you would assume their best young players are being put in the regional squads because it's so vital for them. But we have to, SLvWI have to make a team for these guys to be in, and it's important for them to be in, and it's a necessary thing. But yeah, and I suppose then, that was going to be my final question, I suppose, as well. Like, so listed all those 7 names there. How do you feel? What do you think the strength then? If this is a graduation, this is like I say, it's a class of 24 or whatever. How strong do you think that class is? How well do you think the academy has dealt with them? Sort of, I suppose. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that there?
The question is this. So someone like Melius is 23, Ned is 23, Young, I think Naeem Young must be 24, 23. Are any of them close to making the West Indies debut? And my answer is no. Are any of them even close to playing for West Indies A team? My answer would I mean, Wickham for sure.
Wickham has played for it.
Yeah, exactly. Wickham for sure. I
Ford
guess
has played.
What people have to, and Ford obviously is a West Indies international, but what people have to ultimately work out is we need to decide what is our metric of success and development for these players. I'm just going to keep it simplistic. I want the bare minimum metric for me is they should now all be, every single one of them should be playing regularly for their franchise, nation, team, whatever it might be. But I understand that for some of those players, it's harder than others, because if the franchise isn't concerned with a youth policy and developing youth, then how are you going to get a chance? Like,
what are you going to do?
It don't matter what you're doing; you're just not going to get a chance.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and then I suppose that's fair. And then final thing. So now I want you to imagine it's 3 years' time, and those same list of players. So how many of those players being in the West Indies full team side would you count as success? So if the whole point of the academy is to prepare players for senior West Indies sort of like call-ups, what should it be our like success rate?
50%. 50. It has to be 50, because if you're granted, it's not an academy system in the truest sense of the word, but if you're dedicating, in some cases, some of those players were there for 2 years. If you're dedicating a year to 18 months to 2 years on developing young players and pushing them on to the next stage, the natural progression should be that 3, 4, 5 years later, they're just naturally in the West Indies team. Maybe 50% is too high. I'm going to say for now 30%.
Okay.
So,
because that's an interesting, because that's probably one of the big things, I suppose. Whenever we're getting into year 5, 6, 7, these are the things that we're going to have to start to look at and see, because then we'll actually figure out whether the academy system is sort of like working.
Interesting. All very interesting points. I'm sure people who come on next or in the chat will want to follow up on that. But thank you so much, Ulster Uncle. I'm going to There's 3 more callers. I'm going to try and get through them so I can go to my bed.
No.
All right, then. Cheers. Thanks for coming on, man. Much appreciated. Right, we got 3 callers left. And one of them's Josh, and I done know already that Josh is going to try and take 47 minutes. So, Josh, you're not taking 40 minutes today, you know. Anyways, let me bring on Bigfoot first. Yes, Bigfoot. You still getting cussed out, or you back?
I'm here, man. I'm
Yes,
in the
how you doing?
hospital, so yeah.
You good?
Trying to be good. You know what
Yes.
is cricket, I'll be here, but yeah.
Everything bless.
First thing first, I want to shout out to the ladies tomorrow when they play England in a win or go home game, basically for them. How do you think they will go about it?
So before the tournament started, I always said that I thought the West Indies women's team and how far they went in the tournament would depend on Hayley Matthews and how well Hayley Matthews did. Now, to be fair, Hayley Matthews hasn't really come to the party yet. But when I talk about Hayley Matthews coming to the party, I mean playing like a statement innings. She's done what she does with the ball, as we would expect. She's been consistent, she's been solid, she's been economical, but she's not played one of her kind of 80 from 45 balls or 50 balls types innings. That is the only way West Indies can beat England. There's no way we beat England without Hayley Matthews playing a significant innings.
I think we still can beat England without her performing, but the chances of that happening is going to rely heavily on DeAndre Dottin.
But for Dottin, I agree with you, Reed Dottin, but Dottin, they're playing Dottin. Dottin's role in this World Cup has been to come at number 5 and almost play like a late order hitter, finisher type role. I agree with you that Dottin can play a significant role, but only if the foundation has been laid for her to do so. If Dottin comes in at number 5 and she's having to rebuild an innings before trying to explode at the end, I think that's asking too much. I think that's asking too much from her.
So, assuming we win the toss, do we bat first or do we bowl first?
I think we have to bowl first and try and chase it. I think based on what I've seen in the World Cup, it's been easier to chase than it has been to set a target. So I think you have to chase. Is it a morning? It's not a morning game. It's a 3:00 game. 3:00 UK time. So I'd still try and chase. I don't think we should bowl first.
But my question is,
yeah, go on.
Do you think our bowling can restrict England for less than 140 runs or so? Because anything over 150 right now with our batting is a bit scary.
I mean, England can go. If I'm not mistaken, I need to look at run rates again. But can't England go through even if they lose?
England still have 2 or 3 games to play, I think. After us.
No. Tomorrow's game is the final game. But England's run rate, if I'm not mistaken, is better than South Africa's. So if they lost narrowly to us, I think they go through anyways. So that the only reason I say that is whether is me hoping that there's a level of complacency on England's part because they don't actually have to win.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes when we get there tomorrow.
Yeah,
I want to mention one thing about the men's cricket now. Do you think Joel Andrews' selection for the ODI was solely on the merit and what he did in the CPL, as in the performance versus Nokia, the 6 over extra cover, or is it just a hype thing?
So initially I said that I thought Jules should have been picked in the T20 squad if he was going to be picked. But now I've thought about it more. It actually makes sense why they've picked Jules in ODIs. There's less pressure on him within the ODI context. I'm sure they've got one eye on giving him the freedom to try and construct innings ODIs allows him to. It's almost like the best of both worlds. It allows him to play freely, but also learn how to construct an innings at the international level. Whereas T20s, yes, you can say it's the international level, but all he's really doing is lashing the ball. And if it comes off, it comes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I think the ODI pick is with one eye on his future development as well.
Okay, my last and final point of the night before I let the others come on. With this ODI squad now, with Evan Lewis, Brandon King, Shea Hope, Alec Atkins, Casey Carty, with all of those, plus you still have Joel, how would you set up your top order? Who sits and who plays?
In which format? ODI.
ODI.
I need to see the squad again. 1 second. 1 second.
I'm talking just about the top 6.
Yeah. I'm just gonna look again. I'm gonna give you a top 6 without me looking at it proper. So here it is. Top 6 is Lewis and King to open. Carty 3, Hope 4. Carty 3, Hope 4.
You got Chase, Waterford.
Oh, I forgot about Chase.
Athenaeus.
Athenaeus might not get a game, you know. King, Lewis, Carty, Hope. Chase. No, Chase King. Hope. Athenaeus, Rutherford. That's 6. Chase 7. Romario Shepherd 8. Something like that. Because Chase doesn't have to bat in the top 6 in ODI cricket. He could bat at 7. And then you get Alec in there somewhere between like Hope. You get Alec in there at like number 5. Hope 4, Alec 5. What's his name? Rutherford 6. So there's a lot of combinations they could try there. But for me, you have to open with King and Lewis. I don't want to see Athenaeus opening in ODIs.
Okay, thank you. And when you go to Antigua, be careful on roads. The drivers drive crazy sometimes. The road is not 100% good. It's bumpy. And good luck.
All right then. No worries, Bigfoot. See you soon. Right. 2 more callers left. I should have been in my bed at least 12 minutes ago. Okay. 1 second, people. 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Josh is next, and then Wally will end the show. Josh, you're on a timer, you know. I know you're gonna try take. Josh, you're on a timer. I got work tomorrow, you know. I just want to put this comment up from Osprey. I think this is in relation to what me and Ulster were talking about. So Osprey says 2 to 3 players per year going on to international cricket is a success. This should be from the academy. A 10+ year career for an international player means competition will naturally block some players getting in, but has benefit of greater domestic depth. Yeah, good point about the greater depth. Yeah, true. Right, Josh, in you come. Yes, Josh.
Hey, Mash, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm not going to stay too long because, like you say, you want to get to your bed. So I'll let you, you know. So let me just ask these questions, like, because I want to respect your time, right? I did say, yes, I remember the conversation yesterday you were having on the live stream about talent management in the Caribbean and how terrible it is, right? I agree. And this is why it's critically important that, yes, the academy works, but also we need to have a detailed talent requirement quota, aka key performance indicators. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
yes.
It's very important that they put those things in place, especially for the academy system, right? And not only for the academy system, but just the general franchise system where they say, okay, batsmen, at the end of the season, you must be averaging so and so. You must have a total score of 400 and plus to be considered You understand what I'm saying? You need to have those types of things in place. So what it does is it forces performance. I don't know if you agree to that.
I know in principle, I agree to it. But what happens if you don't have enough batters or bowlers achieving the because it's like Olympic qualifying. Say you don't have enough achieving the Olympic times.
No, well then you just have to think about another rule. You know what I mean? Like, okay, all right. Here's what. Then you go to then at that point you go to the top 5 highest score. If that's the case, you get what I'm saying? Because you need a backup plan, right?
So then, what do you do? What do you do if the players who are consistently performing like that are the oldest players?
Then you go to a place. All right, then that's where you get very ruthless. There's a thing called being ruthless. You say, all right, here's what. I can only take so much of you. I can only carry 2 of you, and I have to bring a couple of youngsters through. Because you have to blood the youngsters. That's the key. And why I said I'm glad you went there. Because one of the things I want to as a Caribbean and as an organization, we need to start working on bringing down the average age of the team. It's a little bit old right now. And we need to start making sure our team has a consistent average age of 25, maybe 26. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing us giving debuts to play people at 29, 30, 31. That is not a youth man. I'm sorry, Mash. Might be a youth man in real life, but in sport, that's a you should be walking out of the sports at that point, you know?
But then, do you know? I hear you, but if we were to
Because look at
bring down
Harvard,
our
he's 23. He's 23 and he can score 317. Come on, man.
yeah, but even if we put our best 23-year-olds together to make one player, they wouldn't score a century.
No, Mash. Don't say that. Don't say that, Mash. Don't say that. Don't say that, Mash. No. Don't say that. Nah, I'm not taking that one. I'll leave the chat to roast you with that one. That one I'm not taking. See, that's why you can't come to the car on a back might be coming for your head.
No, okay. No, on
you see, I'm in yard, you know. I would run you out to Jamaica, you know.
on a serious one, I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like I say, I agree with you on principle. The average age has to come down,
It
but
needs to. It's critically important.
I just don't think we have the talent. I'm not convinced we have the talent depth.
No, I agree, but you know why we don't have the talent? Because we haven't put together it's for long. We're only now starting to realize the idea of an academy and a structured system. We only just started this 2 years ago. So we're really very behind in development of talent. That's why we don't have it. And that's why you have that concern. Because it's taken us a very
I don't know what madness and recklessness Josh was saying there, but I know they locked him off. Whoever it was locked Josh off quick time. He must have been saying some real dirt. And they said, you know what, let me lock off this guy before he tries to continue. Well, I'm going to Wally. I don't know where Josh is. I don't know which player locked off his internet, but we'll wait to see when Josh will come back, if at all. But we're gonna go to Wally whilst Josh tries to sort out his internet. It looks like Bro God might have locked off Josh's internet, you know. Right, okay. Let me go to Wally. Yes, Wally, how you doing?
Yeah, respect, Mash, respect.
Yes. Bless up every time.
Yeah. Calling Guyanese calling all the way from Toronto, Canada here, man. I'm a history teacher just like you.
Oh, fantastic. Love it.
Yeah, man. I mean, one of the things of listening to Josh, and before I make my point, is that I'm kind of annoyed when in the Caribbean we get rid of our cricketers and we call them old. If we're honest with ourselves, our cricketers, because our system is piss poor. Well, poor. Let me just say piss poor. Because they're poor, our cricketers don't develop until after in the 30s, if we're realistic. I'm from the same place with Shepherd and Shamar. And the truth is that we don't have a proper cricket ground.
Right.
There's not a proper cricket ground. Like there's a whole lot of talk. There's not a proper cricket ground in that town. And so there's a lot of the development for Shamar, and Shamar is an anomaly. Shepherd, they're anomalies coming from the same place, right?
What's the place again? Are we talking? What are we talking? New Amsterdam? Is it New
Amsterdam? New Amsterdam, yes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the only ground that is there right now is Burbyside Cricket Ground, and it's not a proper ground. The pitch hasn't been relayed since before you and I were born, right? So and there's another ground, the Burman Cricket Ground, and that went under with the Boxside, right? So I mean, there's a ground the grounds closer to the where Hetimai and them are from, right? But that's because of Hetimai is from a really good club, and he had some people that were around him. So Hetimai again is another anomaly. There's a lot of talented cricketers that came from the same club that probably should have made it. People like Gajanan and them, right? But the thing with Guyana and West Indian is one. There's a lot of migration taking place. There's a lot of money in the cricket. Before, not when you play T20, those guys get lucky, right? But so I don't think look at Bravo. Bravo could still play Test cricket for West Indies, and we chose. It's annoying. I know what annoys me too. The person, Haynes, one of them, who the West Indies cricket did the same thing to, and it seems that we have this cycle that it keeps going on, and nobody's addressing it. And again, so when we say that we want to get rid of these older cricketers, no, we need them unless they're not playing good. Look at Usman Khawaja. Will Austria to get rid of him? Root is a big dude. If England get rid of Root, no, right? So so that was my thing. Also, one of the things that I think for us to really, I remember when I was in university back in the day, and we talked about globalization and its effects on the Caribbean. And one of the things that one professor remember saying is that for us, so-called developing countries, for us to be successful, you have to think outside of the box. Yeah. And I think for us as I think we don't. In terms of like using the resources, we get too much bad mind in the culture. Forget about that. That's natural. We could link it to slavery and all of those kind of things and the indentured immigration. But a simple thing that we can do is in our first class system have a lot of the people like the Afghanistans if they're interested, even a B team. Imagine our players facing Solanke and them in a 4-day consistently. It will help us. Even the new one, the one that was in the T20 that did well, the other Asian team. Why am I forgetting them? They were just playing cricket in Antigua in the Windward Islands before. They made the T20 World Cup.
Oh, Nepal.
So you can have these kind of teams and Ireland, have them there, have them playing our first class system.
I agree with that. Yeah.
These people would be glad to, but that's what I'm saying is that we have to sit, not be bad man, get rid of the Rileys and them. Forgive me, they might waste time because they annoy me. And I'll say that with some of these leaders. I remember that some of these fellows were saying, I have been a leader in West Indies cricket from 1990 this. And I was like, how could you honestly sit and say you have been a leader in the West Indies cricket from 1996 and 1990s, and look back and this is compared with the part when we went down, right? And you were proud of this. So there's so much that we could talk about, and I like what you're doing because it gives us a platform. Because a lot of times the older folks were not. We're turning to uncles now, and I hope that we, Machel, people in our age, people born from our age group and beyond, and don't treat the younger ones that are coming up, right? Even understanding why from how why a player like Hetimai behaves the way he does, right? It's a new generation that's entitled, and is that we sometimes forget that the players in the past did the same thing, and because we have different things that we face, as we, I mean, maybe we understand it differently because we see children, we see people daily. But anyway, but that's just, I know you got to go in bed because I'm also doing my work right now, preparing. So tomorrow, because today's Thanksgiving here, so I had an extra day of rest. So
happy Thanksgiving, by the way, man.
Rastaman bundle. Anyway, but anyway, but yeah, I mean, I'll give you a chance to, when I'll come off, to just respond to some of the things I spoke about and just understanding where you're coming from. Respect, big man.
No, much respect though for coming on, and you've raised some very pertinent points there. And don't be a stranger. Come back on the show whenever you're next free.
Yeah, man.
Bless up.
Yeah.
Yes, people. I think Josh has just come back, He just come back. Josh is determined to be the last guy to talk. I'm giving Josh 2 minutes to finish off, 2 minutes. Yes, Josh, you're back.
You know, it's 2 hours when you use your phone and you get some calls, you know what I mean? So what, Mash? Also, the carbon we need. See, he just made the point. We do not have structure. And because we don't have structure, we are prohibiting and are allowing and advocating for inefficiency, incapability, and horrendous representation. And that's what we've been getting for so many years. And you have succumbed to that, Mash. That's why you have the ability to say, you do not think we have the young talent, because there is no structure. Admittedly, Kishore Shalu is trying to do that in the last 2 to 3 years.
No, and I'm glad you made that final point, because I do think one of the reasons why Kishore is potentially putting a lot of people's noses out of joint is because I think he's recognized actually the point that you're making, that everything's got to be ripped up and you've got to try and put systems in place that can at least facilitate for the next generation to not be down bad like all the last 30 years worth of people. So that's why I applaud things like them saying, right, the academy is now full-time. You're full-time, you're treated as a professional in one territory, which is Antigua. And there will be people cussing, but these are the ways forward if you're wanting to get professional cricketers who aspire to the highest levels. You've got to treat them as professionals and put structures around them that are truly professional from as early as possible.
Exactly. And that's what, when I came on the show a couple of weeks ago and I was talking about a filtration system where we need to make sure we have an under 23 and so system. This is what I'm talking about. We need structure. Anyway, I had other questions, but I was to say I respect the show and I don't want to, I don't want you to wake up tomorrow morning a dead man walking and then teach your students look on you like, Mash, you're all right. You know what I mean? At least you can tell him with your streamers that killed you,
Tomorrow morning, when I'm up and trying to go to work 6.5 hours from now, I'm going to send you a message on Instagram cussing pure bad word.
Anyway, Mash, good health, good strength, and we move forward and well. Good.
All right, take care, Josh. Thank you. Right, people. So that brings an end to another live call-in show. 1 hour and 25 minutes. Not bad. That's relatively short for these. Thank you, everyone who's come on today. I'm probably going to forget different names. Big up Josh. Big up Wally. Big up Errol. Big up Ulster Uncle. Big up Bigfoot. Big up, who else have I missed? Big up Fireball. Big up Jamandi. Bare people came on today. So big up everybody who came on the live today. Like I say, people, just as a wrap it, big games coming up today. Tomorrow, 2 big games tomorrow. West Indies men versus Sri Lanka in the second T20. But more importantly, West Indies women versus England in a must-win game in the T20 World Cup. That's on Tuesday. Then on Thursday, West Indies men versus Sri Lanka in the final T20. And then on Sunday, the first ODI. The first ODI between Sri Lanka and West Indies on Sunday. For those who missed the start, I will be in Antigua in October. In a week beginning 20. I'll be in Antigua for the ODI against England. Made that last minute decision to go today. Hopefully can get some content going Might start pitching to some people and saying, I'm out there. Let me do some work. Make sure I can actually pay for this ticket that I just spent money on. But anyways, people, I've been Machel St. Patrick here. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to Caribbean Cricket Podcast on the way out. As ever, you're the only reason we keep on the air. You can find us at Carib Cricket on all of the social handles. X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of them, OnlyFans, everywhere. Caribbean Cricket Podcast is everywhere, twerking and everything. And if you want to support us, you can go to www.patreon.com/Carib Cricket. Every little bit counts. I've been Machel St. Patrick here, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. That's been another live call-in show. See you all very soon.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.